Hello, San Antonio and everybody around the world. This is Rita Hernandez with Inspiration for Life Radio TV Web Network, live on air with Rita, broadcasting live. And thank you all once again for continuing to follow Live on Air with Rita, because the way we're doing it now, we're having guests come in all the time whenever they're ready to come on, their time and their schedule. Before, it used to be, it was one slot of a radio show and we would have all the 5 or 6 guests, but we're being safe, COVID safe, and kind of bringing in one at a time. So we're working with all the guests. So that's what you're going to be seeing a lot of shows with us, with Live on Air with Rita on Inspiration for Life Radio Network. So I'm just really excited about that, because this is a wonderful opportunity to bring so many people on, not just here on Facebook Live, which is also going to be downloaded and uploaded to IGTV. We're live on Inspiration for Life Radio. So of course you can go to the website www.inspiration4 with the number 4 live.org and click on Listen Live. And then also, if you have your phone, you could download the super cool app. It's called Tune In Radio, and it's one word, Tune In Radio. So once you download that cool app, you're going to search Inspiration for Life Radio. When you click on it, our station is on. We're on 24/7 in 147 countries around the world.
That is awesome.
Around the world. So make sure you put a little heart on there, because if you ever open the app, that means we're going to be the first station that pops up, and you can listen to us. We have musicians from San Antonio, independent artists from San Antonio, and also from around the world. So we have a lot of great music on there. So not only artists that we're talking about, musicians.
Oh, gosh.
So we're always looking for musicians to play your music on our radio station. So I want to thank all of our listeners for always being a part of that, with the radio station and enjoying our shows, and also Facebook Live. So thank you all, and you're going to continue again to see different times throughout the day, and I will try to be posting when we will be doing the live broadcast, because it kind of gives them a heads up, like, oh, Rita's going to do another show, oh, Rita's going to do another interview, oh, Rita's live over here, oh, Rita's live over there. So I guess I'm kind of back, because that's how we were just talking about that. To a lot of people I knew, because I was away for 3 years, and I was explaining the pregnancy 2018, baby AJ 2019, and COVID 2020. I mean, I was away for a good 3 years.
Yes.
I mean, literally away.
And it seems like forever.
Yes, it does. But being back in action, I'm still not at full capacity, because I have a family. I have my baby, and he's top priority, So if I can't get out where I can, because I don't have a babysitter or somebody to watch him, you know what, we're going to come open up the shop and come hang out and do what we love best, and still support people online on Facebook and Instagram. But just continue to follow us, because we have a lot of great people we're going to be featuring, and a lot of different places that we're going to be doing lives at. So, and I'm really thankful for my family. I'm really thankful for my mom for being home and watching AJ and my family on the weekends to do that, because they know how much I love what I do.
Yes.
I have a painting up there that says, "Do what you love. Do what you love, guys. Get up and do what you love." So I'm here excited, because I'm doing what I love, and I'm going to interview an amazing person. Her name is Laura Garcia, and I knew it was her when she drove up, because I saw the car magnet, Alamo Ranch Pop-Up Market, and we've been friends on Instagram.
Yes.
So it was mainly Instagram. So if y'all don't have Instagram, y'all need to get on there, because that's where all the action is happening.
Yes.
And it's so funny, because as of February of this year, that's when I just really started getting back on Instagram. Instagram, I just really never did. I was always on Facebook. But I still like to do Facebook Live and record and download and upload to IGTV, just for that purpose, because it has better quality audio and the sound and the look and stuff. So I like to do it that way as well, until I get all these big fancy cameras and we'll have live from everywhere. But this is just something really cool that we love to do, to let you all know about all the amazing guests that we have and all the great things that they do. So Laura, please tell us a little bit about yourself, because I want to know more, because just from Instagram that, we've been kind of going back and
Yes,
forth. There's still so much that I want to learn more about you. So tell us about
thank
yourself.
you. Well, for one, thank you for having me on your show.
Of course.
Appreciate it. We really do. I'm from San Antonio, so I was born and raised here in San Antonio. I'm married and I have 7 children.
Ooh.
7, yes.
I have a friend who has 6, so you beat her by 1.
Yeah, I have 7 and I have a beautiful granddaughter. Again, I'm locally from here, from San Antonio.
Awesome.
So we started this business a year ago.
Okay.
And my husband, I actually had a full-time job, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did work a 9 to 5, just like everybody else. But I have a small business. And I used to do shows and all this good stuff. And my husband was the one that pushed me to start, like, why don't you start your own little market?
Yeah.
And I was like, I like just going, meeting different people. It was easy for me. And being that I had a 9 to 5 job in our family, it was easier for me to do that. So that's what happened. I ended up little by little.
Yeah.
Let me look into it. It took a little while. It was a process. It didn't happen overnight. But we finally decided on a date, which just so happened to be April of last year, right before everything shut down. We started to get everything in order, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for 2 months. We finally did start in June of last year. And it's been a fun ride.
Yes,
it really has.
And really quick, I see you have one of your daughters here.
Yes.
So we have a live studio audience, everybody. We finally have a live studio audience, and that's one of the great things when we have our shows. We have all the guests, so it ends up being that we have a live studio audience. So that's one of the great things that we love to do. So thank you so much for being part of the show. I love she's all smiling at us. So all right, continue.
Yes. So. We ended up starting up the market. I want to say we had about 30 people. This is so funny. We had about 30 people signed up, but because of COVID, we did have restrictions, the whole spacing.
Yeah.
You had to have a
So it's cut in
mask.
half because you have to do the whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we started, but only 12 vendors showed up
Oh,
because of COVID, But I want to say after that month, it just grew. I think COVID really opened up a lot of people to find their inner craftiness, as you say, because people lost their jobs. People had to stay home with their kids. So it was really hard, and I've heard so many stories, and it's amazing how, you work a corporate job, and then one day it's gone, and you're like, wait a minute, I've been doing this forever, and I don't know what else to do. So a lot of people started baking, started painting, making jewelry, shirts. There's just so many different types of vendors out there that they didn't know they had that talent. And so that's what happened. More and more people started coming out, and you see it now. There's so many markets now, and I think it's a blessing because you're able to have different types of vendors at every event. And now it's funny because let's just say, you're one person and you have your work. Now everybody wants you at everybody's market, and it's like, what do I do? Now you have family members filling in at different locations. So it's been a blessing in disguise. I mean, you still have to watch out with COVID. But it's great that there's just so many markets, so many vendors, talented vendors. I've met so many different types of people that I love it. I didn't even know there was so much art out there or so much talent and work.
Exactly. And it's like, to me, when I hear all this, it just brings back all the memories. And we were just talking about this beforehand. We were doing, so I'm the opposite now. Back in the day, many, many years, like I said, I've been doing this for 12 years. I used to do the big events, the big pop-ups, and we had everybody there because nobody else was doing them. So now I'm doing the smaller ones. I'm like, no, I've already been there, done that. I've already kind of say I want to do the smaller, the intimate, just work individually with the shops and have maybe, I would say the most I would have is 7 vendors. That's all I want to worry about, I like to keep it small and simple. And make sure that they're they're happy, they're comfortable, get the best out of it. And the other great thing that was unique about what we do, we always did the live video feature. So we always had, it was kind of like we have our own segment called the Inspired Shopping Network. So that's part of the blessing that they get. I said, well, we have the media company, so we're going to come out and feature you. We're going to showcase your items, and then we're going to try to get people to buy them online as we're doing the videos. I said that's a unique feature that we have to the our broadcasting. So that was a really awesome thing to be able to say. People were buying products from our shows online as we were featuring them. They're like, oh, I said, make sure you comment if you like their item, put it on there. So, oh yeah, I want that. Let them know. I said, get a hold of that vendor, and that way they can reach out to you. So now to this day, I like to go visit and feature different, vendors from different markets. But of course, I always like to respect and get their permission first, because I'll just take a picture. It's like, oh my gosh, I need to feature you. And I'll take their picture and I'll just put them on Instagram and stuff like that. But when it comes to something bigger, as you now we have magazines. We have 2 magazines.
Yes.
So she was able to see our Inspired, or Inspiration for Life magazine and our Artist Expressions magazine. As she was saying, there's a whole bunch of artists out there.
There is.
A whole bunch of artists. So for that collaboration, for your vendors and these people to get featured and let people know, that's our job as a media, broadcasting, and magazines business, is to get you on here, to let people know about the Alamo Ranch pop-up market and all the markets in San Antonio. Because you know what we do when I know we're not going to open? I tell my husband, brace yourself. We're going to go to this market. 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 Okay, what does it say? Thank you, Laura and Alamo Ranch Pop-Up, for giving our businesses opportunity to grow. Yes. So, this is why we do what we do, because we want people to get out there. I love to make sure to go out there and feature these businesses, and you're opening up this platform, and it makes my heart melt, because it's like to see all these other businesses that are opening up their parking lots to do this. Those are opportunity for them as well. It
is. It's an opportunity for everybody all the way around. And I think it's great. We've actually had, and I'm always honored when I have a vendor who started with us when we started. When I say started, when we started, because they might have already been doing shows before. Yeah. But to know that they were there, and then now they have their own shop.
Yes.
It's an honor when they come to visit us, because we do have a couple of our vendors that have opened up their own business. Yes. And I always feel blessed and thankful to them, because I think, wow, in my eyes, if it wasn't for the vendors, we wouldn't have a market.
Yes.
And then we do have 3 different vendors that have opened up their pop-up shop because of our pop-up shop.
Yes, that's amazing.
So it's good to know that Alamo Ranch Pop-Up Market has actually helped other people to not only have their featured product, but to be able to have other products out there, other vendors. Again, it helps all the way around.
Yes.
There's single parents, there's families that have lost, their jobs. So it's good to know that the community's coming together, and that was my whole thing with COVID. The community came together and they supported, especially when we really needed the help, So always support small businesses. You don't realize that. It helps.
I honestly think now more people are doing that.
Yes.
More people are coming together, because even being that person that have been doing this for a very long time, I still make sure that if I know I'm not gonna, like I said, if I know I'm not gonna open up the shop, even my younger daughter, she's like, oh, where are we going today? I was like, well, you know what? This past weekend, we actually supported all the pop-ups that were here. There was one, the Liberty Market.
Yes.
I had never been to that
Liberty
one.
Bar Market.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one. So we went, and then we went to the Blue Star, then we went to over there by Herman and Sons. So we were like, and then we went to a few yard sales, It's like, it was just really cool to be able to, we were gone all day, girl.
Yeah,
We're
but they're
gone
so
all
much
day.
fun, right?
They are, because it's like you know what you can spend, and a lot of these vendors are very reasonable price.
Yes.
Their prices are amazing. So you're not going to go break the bank, because you're not you know what you like, and you say, okay, I like that, and I love when my daughter gets so excited and we're able to to feature the vendor once we purchased the item. I said, okay, yeah, now we got to feature them because we bought those earrings or we bought something from them. And I think that is really cool. And going back to, like you said, I know you kind of really answered already when you started the business and stuff like that, but a lot of them did start during the pandemic.
Yes.
You know, and yesterday's show, we were talking about it with the guest, and a lot of them discovered their hidden talents.
Yeah.
A lot of the hidden talents came out and really sparked up that they may have already had that dream for a long time, but they just didn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start seeing everybody doing it, it's like a domino effect. It's like, you know what? Okay, now we got to do it. Let's get inspired. And if there's still people out there that need more of that inspiration, this is the time.
Yes.
You know, there's markets out there for you to go to. There's places for you to sign up and be a part of. And even with the markets, you know, make your schedule. Because like you said, one vendor, 20 pop-ups may want them, and you just got to kind of say, okay, I want to be here, be here, be here. And it's good to kind of go, make a little circle.
Yes.
Go around the city of San Antonio and put yourself out there. So that's a beautiful opportunity for that.
It is.
And what I know the pandemic inspired you, what really, really, truly inspired you? Because you had to leave your job for a reason.
Well,
you know, what truly inspired you?
Well, my husband, he was really he's my biggest supporter. I'm not going to lie. Those of you that know my husband and I, you know, he is like my everything.
Yes.
He is my biggest supporter. He's the one that pushed me, like, why don't you do this? And I was like, like I explained, I was kind of like, no, I'm good with just going to the shows, setting up, and I'm gone. Okay, because, yeah, that was about it for me. But then he kept talking about it. We prayed about it.
Oh, yes.
We prayed. I said, I'll leave it. Yes. I leave everything in God's hands. We'll leave it in prayer. I had my sisters in Christ praying for us. And then it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And again, my husband was, I want to say my inspiration, because he pushed me to do what I really love doing. I love putting parties together. So for me, this is a party.
Yes.
It really is. If you've been to our market, or if you know my family, you see my kids. They're helping everybody out, because it's more of a family market. If you've been to our market, you're part of the family. You're not just a vendor.
Yeah. I've been to markets where you don't even see the host.
Oh no, I go and check on our vendors. I would love for anybody to ask our vendors how we are, but you're more of a family. You're not just a vendor. I started when we opened our market. I'm going to be very honest. I used to do a lot of markets before we started.
Yeah.
There wasn't that very many.
Yeah.
There was, I want to say 3. And then every now and then there would be like a one day here and there, so I would go and join.
Yeah.
But I knew the feel of when I would go, what I liked and I didn't like
Yeah.
of the market, or how to be treated as a vendor. So when we opened up the market, I told my husband, I'm going to treat our vendors the way I want to be treated.
Exactly.
And so that's why I put a lot of work into our market. A lot. I take a lot of pride in our vendors and their work, because again, this is their livelihood.
Yeah.
And so I support every vendor. I even go to other markets and I support our vendors. I'll even post on our page where they're at. So again, it's always about the vendor.
Yeah.
It's not about the market.
Exactly.
So always support small. We go and we'll, hey, you're at this market. Here's a picture. Come support them.
Exactly.
It's very important, guys. You don't realize, whether you're a family of 1 or 2, even if you're a young entrepreneur, we have a lot of young,
Yes.
believe it or not, they're starting from the ground up, making earrings. We have one, she just graduated. She makes Rice Krispie treats, but they're not your normal home growing up Rice Krispie treats.
Now I want a treat.
Yeah, they're all different. Again, we've met so many different vendors that it's amazing. There's so much work out there,
Yeah.
like clothing that's handmade, face masks. Everybody's wearing face masks still. You find pieces of jewelry, painting. Every artist is different.
Yeah.
It's, I always say support artists. I didn't realize how much art is out there until we started having artists.
Yeah.
Photography, that's an art, guys. We have, you've met Sean.
Yes.
He does the metal
Yes.
art. Phenomenal. I mean, his work and it's all handcrafted. You know, they do all of this, so it's good to support small guys, shop small, no matter what. Some of these small businesses now are getting into these bigger businesses, and that's amazing. That is a blessing. I always say God is good. It'll happen in the right timing.
Yes,
always.
It's all in His timing.
Yes,
all in His timing. And you kind of answer that with, who your inspiration. You're saying your husband, and that's a beautiful story, because I can relate to that, because going on this for 16 years, I left Christus Santa Rosa. I used to be an EMT, and I left Christus Santa Rosa in 2005 to kind of embark in this journey of really helping people. It really started off more in the health, fitness, and wellness field, and doing free Zumba, free fitness, free walks, and free community outreach. So that was more of the ministry side of what we did. And they're like, you just got your massage therapy license, you really want to do everything for free? I said, that's my heart. It's more of a ministry. So we started doing all these ministry outreach projects. And then from that, it came out to, hey, you know what, we're going to do some events, some community outreach events. And then it's like, okay, you know what, I'm getting all these stories, the feedback and stuff. So that's where we relaunched in 2009 as Inspiration for Life. And that's where the media kind of came in. Started off with a 15-minute segment, turned into a 2-hour show, and turned into my own radio station, and with all that writing for magazines, and now having 2 publications, and doing all the media marketing and promotions, live broadcasting. All of that kind of transpired from just saying I want to listen and see what the people are doing, and exactly what you're doing, and all the vendors that are in there. There's a whole magazine right there just at your event. There's one whole magazine there, just covering those stories. And this is what great partnerships is all about, saying, how can we feature you, but it's also going to feature the different vendors that we're working, because they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be all over San Antonio, with trying to make it not. I don't like to say make it. That's their life. They decided to create something to provide for their families. And that's going to become their life. To say, hey, just like we were talking about Chris Day. When I went to go visit, it's like, hey, honey, there's one over here. Go 151. Let's go check that one off. It's off the highway. And we're walking around. And, of course, when we see artists, we're like, hey, we have a Perfect magazine. So we just started talking. And this was, I don't remember what issue it is, but I was showing her. I said, he was part of our magazine. And then he sent me an email. Hey, Rita, we now have our own storefront. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Just like you're saying, all these vendors that come from there and have their own place, have their own businesses and stuff like that. Those are the stories that are just so amazing and powerful. Yes. So now we got to go do a follow-up story and capture that, saying this is the growth. And there's another one from Bernie. She just did a simple, with photos and kind of her information, and she has grown. And yesterday, it was funny because yesterday popped up a memory that we were there a year ago of yesterday, and we were just there in Bernie on Saturday with a big event that she was a part of. And I was like, do you see that growth? Yes. It's so amazing. Okay, Laura, thank you for all your support and love from Christian Zamora, from DJ Pork Chop. Yeah.
He's our DJ out there.
DJ Pork Chop.
Thank you, Chris. He was just there yesterday.
That is
awesome.
So awesome.
Small businesses.
Yeah.
Every type of small business. We have a DJ out there.
Yeah.
And again, he has a full-time job.
Yeah.
But at the same time, his passion is music.
Yeah.
So.
And that's truly amazing.
Yes.
People. My husband has a full-time job. He works. He's still at Christus Santa Rosa. That's where we met 21 years ago. So he's still there. Their motto is "We're here for life." So I think that's him.
That's right.
Yeah. So he works a full-time job, and he tries to paint whenever he can as well. He can literally knock out 2 or 3 paintings in one night.
His painting
but
is amazing.
AJ has to be asleep. Because if AJ's there watching him paint,
he's helping.
You turn around and I'm like, why is there paint all over the floor? He goes, well, I had to let AJ paint. I was like, you're kicking that out. No, I'll go help him. But see, little things like that, it's like we have to just enjoy the moment,
Yes.
whenever he can get the artwork done, because he's got to provide for our family and stuff like that. But this provides, and that's the other good thing about this area. We're right there by the Tower of Americas, the hotel scene with all the tourists.
Yes.
They come this way because they go to all the restaurants. So we're kind of in a hot spot right here, right in the King William Southtown area off of Alamo Barrera. We got a lot of people that come over here to these little areas in the shops. So we have a lot of people just walking around and enjoying. So it is a tourist attraction / residential area. We kind of determined the evenings 5 to 9 is when it really all happens.
Yes.
So during the day, that's why I like to say, as you can see, it's already 11 something. There's really no crowd, so there's kind of no point of being here unless we get people by appointment, or if my friends say, "Hey Rita, I'm coming by. I want to come shop." Hey, I live 5 minutes away. I'll come meet
right
you.
here. Yeah.
I'll be right there. So, hello, beautiful ladies. Sending a blessing. Yes, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Thanks, Priscilla.
We appreciate it.
So this is a really, really beautiful area, but it's like we know the time frames. The
Yes.
evenings is when it's happening, and it's lit up. The colors kind of pop, so it kind of gives that vibe and stuff like that. So this is a great opportunity just to really be there for all the different vendors. And we actually house maybe like 4 or 5. I'm getting 2 more coming in, local feature artists and musicians that come out and play. So this is kind of hub for a variety. It's not just my husband or my daughter's business. We actually have, I would say 10 total in here to, kind of showcase what they do. And that's just my heart. That's always been my heart, always giving and being a part of the collaboration, because it just makes it, so much more better when you do it with a group of people. So I love your story again of coming together with your family, saying, let's try this, let's do this, let's go make it happen, and still being strong. So now, how long has it been? It's been almost a year?
It's been a year now. Yeah. But let me tell you, I was scared at the very beginning because I worked at BAMC, and I was like, oh, I'm going to leave my job like you. And I'm like,
also hospital scene. Yay.
Yes. So I worked at BAMC, and so when I was leaving, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it happened at the right moment, because I will tell you, my last day was that Friday at the end of spring break, and then the kids didn't go back to school.
Yeah.
So God works
yeah.
mysteriously, because it just so happened that that's the moment that was my last day. So I was able to be there with our family, with our kids. My husband does work a full-time job. My husband works every day.
We kind of relate. We can relate, except for the kids. But I have 3, have 7.
Yeah.
So. But AJ kind of makes up for the others.
Yeah. So and then of course the weekends. Yeah. There's no days. Then our kids are in sports.
Yeah.
So my life is my family, our church, and our family, and of course the market. But I put a lot of hard work, soul, sweat into our market. My kids will tell you, we went on a vacation. There was no vacation. Yeah.
We're waiting for those, but right now you were saying that I read a sign that said "Faith Family Tacos." That's it.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, just I love that. I love that. Everything's based on faith and family, just really making it happen, because our family has been there every step of the way of everything that we do. And my husband's like, you don't have to work, you don't have to do anything, but here he knows me that I can't. My mind is just rolling. But I am so thankful that I did take that time off. I did take those 3 years and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to focus on what I have to do here. I'm not going to worry about anything. And then during the pandemic, the last part of it, that's when everybody's like, Rita, the magazines, Rita. And I was like, you know what, I can work from home. I can do interviews from home. I can do this from home. So I started slowly doing that. But of course, you would hear baby in the background. There was baby in the background with my show. So I was like, I should make a show called Baby in the Background. AJ, and then you would see AJ pop up, with his head. I was like, yeah. So he already has his own little show, my little 2-year-old. So he picks up really fast. But yeah, so all of this, what is your main message for what you want to tell the viewers and the visitors and the people that are coming to your pop-ups?
So our motto at the market is, we have something for everyone. Is one, of course. But I do want to go back real quick. I always say our market is the Lord's market.
Yes, amen.
I said that from the very beginning when we first opened the market. Any vendor that knows me, that's our whole thing. But to all of our vendors, our viewers, our customers, you know, our whole thing is just to support small, be there for the vendors.
Yeah.
If you've never walked in their shoes, you don't know their story.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I've heard a lot of stories, and some of they're all amazing, but
Yeah.
some of them are just like, oh my God, it hit home. Like,
Yeah.
I've been there. Like, you know, we can relate. But yeah, we want to be sure to bring the community together,
Yes.
work together. Don't hate.
Yes.
Don't, because we've come across a lot of, you know, some friction, just like any other business. But I always say God is good, and He has provided for everyone, and He will continue to do that.
Amen.
So for everyone or anyone that is ever wanting to do their own talent, do it.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, I always try to push everybody, do it. Like, if this is what you want, do it.
Mhm.
You know, the only thing that can happen, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It does not work. But if you don't do it, you'll never know.
And that's what I love about this platform, because the people that are listening at home or watching on Facebook Live, they're the ones that are just at home and they're not really communicating. So if they see something here that truly inspires them, this is where they're going to get that spark. You know, so to me, it's like we're just a vessel. We're just a vessel to kind of put it out there for people to get that spark. And since day one, when you know we were doing our community outreach to relaunching Inspiration for Life, we live off of Philippians 4:13. It's on the website, Philippians 4:13, and that's the power of our ministry, our media, our community outreach to help give back. You know. So, and I know what you're talking about, there's going to be some haters out there, but to me, bringing like-minded people, whether the people that I bring on, whether it's in media or markets or, artists, whatever it is, I'm not going to just have my husband's art in here. We're going to have other artists as well. And you're going to see me pushing and promoting their art on my Instagram and on Facebook because they're our featured artists. So to me, that's very important to do that. So we created something called the Beauty in Unity. So the Beauty in Unity are like our conferences, how we gather two or more of the like-minded people that do the same things, but we're going to show you all how it works, that it does work. You just have to have that wonderful mindset of saying, oh yeah, I'm not going to go with her, estoy celosa, all that stuff. No, you got to have that mindset of positivity and creativity and how to make it work with people who do the same thing in your field. So the Beauty in Unity is something that we really do enforce and to be a part of. I'm trying to read. I know Priscilla had asked, because with Priscilla, when we do our First Fridays, we have a local musician that plays. So her daughter, Ariel Corrine, she plays the ukulele. So she's been playing here. And then Frida down the street saw that she played here. He's like, oh, I want to take her over there. So he got her for First Fridays. We were doing first and third, so she would come and do our third Fridays. But we don't do the third Fridays anymore. So we have another musician that comes out. So I know Miss Priscilla asked you also look for featured musicians to play at your place as well.
We do. We actually have a violinist as well.
Okay.
He is amazing. Another one, he works full-time. He's actually a music instructor.
Oh, really?
He plays the violin. Amazing. You can find him every now and then downtown, but you can find him at the market every weekend.
Yeah. I'm trying to read what, yeah.
How do I do it?
See more? Okay. So thank you, Laura, for your amazing support with More Style Boutique. We really appreciate everything you do for a small business. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Let's see. I'm afraid to... There you go. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You are amazing.
I love our vendors. Like I said, our vendors are like family. So I'm always about helping others because I know at the end, my help is up there.
Yes.
So again, and I don't want to get emotional, but I take a lot of pride in what I do. I really do. And I appreciate all of our vendors because if it wasn't the vendors, there wouldn't be a market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And vendors are to me, I make sure to keep our vendors happy.
Yeah.
I always ask them, what is it that we could do different?
I
never avoid because constructive criticism is the best because you're there to help them with their business. Well, how they're going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Basically, for them, you want them to keep coming back. So I'm like, hey, so I know this is what's going on. So what do you think we need to do or add or do different so that you all can come back? You know, they're, oh yeah, well this would help, that would help, and stuff like that. So I always make sure, and I'm the type that I stay there from the very beginning to the very end with them. I'm out there sweating with them and like, oh, let me get a chair, let me sit with y'all, give me a fan.
Where's the AC?
Yeah, so I'm like, I always tell them, come to the back and stand right there for like 10 minutes and y'all can go run back outside. They're like, ooh, that felt good. You know, so we always try to, and that's one thing for me, I love the smaller, this is my little area, and in that Bloom, we have about seven parking spots, so we can fit about 7 tents. This one are just more of the tables. As you can see, we don't have that much room, but 7 tables, and over there it's 7 tents. So it's kind of like they're different sizes. So it's like that's all I can handle, folks, for now because of AJ. You know, the back of my head is like that stress level. Ooh, let's bring it down. You know, we're back to normal. So, but I just like to make sure that they're happy and everything's happy. And even for like your vendors, you know, I love that they're participating, that they're watching. You know, this is all the beauty and unity, you know. So, you know, for vendors to kind of be a part of that is truly amazing. You know,
amazing.
And I don't like to call vendors or followers or fans, you know, they're part of the family. Like you said, they're all part of the family. I know earlier when you were looking at the page, you said, I was going to say, well, that's my fan page, but it's more, again, my business profile page for, you know, for the ones that do follow. But it's kind of hard to say that, like, oh, those are my fans and my followers. No, those are part of the family. That are, you know, because I have my personal page, and then that one's where the business and stuff like that. So now going back to the vendor pop-ups. So like one of the questions that goes through my mind, and I know it is hard, sometimes the vendors can't afford the vendor fee. You know, in what situation would you say if they want to ask, gosh, I want to be a part of your event, but I can't afford it?
We've had this situation,
you know, because it breaks my heart
I'm
sometimes.
going to be very honest, and my husband will tell you, as well as my daughter. I do what God would want me to do. And I will tell you, and vendors, I would hope that they would comment about that, but I've given them breaks. Like, don't worry about it. My whole thing, and this is a God honest truth, my whole thing is I want you as a vendor to showcase your product, to be able to sell it, get your name out there, and eventually have your own place of business. That is my goal for the vendors. So when it comes to that, well, I understand people, we've all been in that situation. So I understand when people are like, oh, I can't, or what have you. Okay, no problem. You know, I will work with them, whether it be they can't afford to pay, or they need I only have this. I work with them because, again, it's about their product, getting it out there, being able to sell it, and eventually one day either have their own shop or, you know, have their own business wherever it may be.
I truly agree with you, because that, you know, there's always a lot of different businesses. Some of them are just really starting up, so you're always going to get asked that question, hey, I want to be a part of it. And sometimes I'll just tell them, well, why don't you just come and visit, come and check it out, come walk around and meet the different vendors, because that way you can make some connections and hopefully gain some new clients from there too. You make that extra money and stuff to help. So little things like that is, how can we inspire a vendor that's watching and say, oh, I would like to be a part of a market, but I don't have the funding. You know, come visit the different pop-ups, interact with them, network with them, get their information, and that way you can start getting some more clients online, and they can purchase from you there and say, hey, let me save up for that vendor spot. You know what I mean? You know, just save up. You know, you have a every month?
We have our markets open every weekend.
Okay, every weekend.
So every first Friday, we have an evening market. From 4 to 8, and then 3 to 8, and then every Saturday and Sunday we're open. Usually the second Saturdays are night market, so we open up at 12 on Saturday, but we're open up every weekend, every single weekend, and we have everything. I mean, even bring your fur babies out. It's a pet-friendly market. It is on grass. We have grass and pavement, so you know their little paws won't get burned. We have so many different vendors. We have a moon bounce for the kids every weekend, face painting, you know, something for the kids as well as for the adults. But we have so many amazing vendors.
Food trucks?
We have food trucks. Oh, we have food. We have cotton candy, raspas. Yeah, we do have that. We actually, this past weekend, we had mini pancakes. The Craving Spot, shout out to them. Very good. Little mini pancakes. They would put whatever toppings you wanted. Very, very good.
It's so funny you say that because my husband, he makes little mini pancakes and he makes them for my son. So I was just like, look over there, AJ.
Yes.
Because they're so small, you can just pop them in your mouth. You know, otherwise, you'd be like having to cut them out.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Hey, look over there.
Yeah.
Pop that in there.
And that
It's super
Morpho,
cool.
Miss...
The boutique.
Yes, the boutique. They actually, her product is beautiful. I'm going to just give a shout out to her too. So she has actual butterfly earrings. I didn't wear mine today. I actually wore them on weekend. Today I wore some other ones from another vendor.
Yeah.
But they're actual butterfly earrings from Colombia. And she has beaded jewelry, and it actually helps families out there.
Wow.
So it's, again, if you don't know the story, you know, you see the product.
That's another story.
Yes. And again, you have to come out to these markets. There are so many unique vendors. It's very rare that you find the same.
Yeah.
At our market, we only allow one product type, so you won't find multiple of the same.
Yes, yes.
And we do that only because we want our vendors to sell. We don't like competition.
Exactly.
So we do want to be able to have our vendors sell their product and not have like 20 of the same vendors. It might not be the same smell or the same look, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
But we like to do that for our vendors to make sure that they get, you know, their product out there. Because again, the products are growing. You know,
Exactly.
You're an artist, and then I might not have been an artist, and now I like your art. You inspired me. I want to be an artist, so now I'm an artist, and you know, now there's all these different or the same types of vendors everywhere. So support. If you're wanting to start your business and you don't have the funds, post on your Instagram, post on your Facebook page. That's how a lot of them got started. You know, you post on there, you either make a private page or tell your friends and family, you know, share. It's always important to share and like someone's page. You definitely want to do that because that's what gets your business going.
Exactly.
You know, so you can always order online, word of mouth. If you work, you take your products to work. I will tell you, when I used to work at BAMC, I would take my stuff to work and I would sell at work.
You know, it's so funny you say that. My husband, he has an office there, and he works for the food and nutrition department. He has his artwork on the walls, and people go in there like, oh my gosh, I like your artwork, can I buy it? He goes, well, I can't sell it to you here, but go to my shop, or you know, because you can't sell here. He just has it decorated. So people are trying to buy art in his office. He's like, no, go to my shop. But that is super cool. You know, it's like wherever you're at, you know. And one of my guests from yesterday, it's in my bag. He made me a super cool apron with my logo in the middle.
Oh, wow.
And then I ended up with free conchas yesterday when the other guest brought me some concha. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a beautiful blessing, you know. We always try to do giveaways with, you know, with the different guests that come on, because it's like just a continuation and the blessings that we can bless our listeners and our viewers and stuff like that. But just all those opportunities to be able to, you know, to work together and help the vendors, I think it's just super amazing. My mind's already rolling of how we can work together. It's like, okay, I know every single person that sits on my chair, and I call it the hot spot, you know, the hot seat. You know, God puts them there for a reason. I said it's always just that blessing to be able to do that. Now, do you have a team or a staff that helps you with everything you're doing?
I am the team.
That's how it is.
I am the team.
That's how it is here. It's like, you know, it's myself, and I'm actually growing the team to help me with other stuff, like with magazine articles and, you know, media and stuff like that. But it's like everything else is planned and produced and directed by me. You know, and even with the events, it's like it's like I'm the accountant, I'm the, you know, the mastermind. It's like you become all the hats
Everything,
at one time,
yes.
you know.
So I have all those hats.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I do have my family, my husband and our kids.
Yes.
On the weekends, they help to set up and break
Yes.
down and all that. All the hard work,
Exactly.
I guess you can say. My husband always says, because I always tell him, well, I don't have a job. And he's like, no, I think your job's a little bit harder sometimes than mine.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that my husband says. As obviously like, man, I'm tired. He goes, no, I bet. He goes, I'm just looking at you and you've been busy for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And he works the full-time job, but for him to say that, and he goes, and then taking care of the baby on top of that, he goes, I know you're tired. He goes, go take a little nap. I was like, no, I can't take a nap. I get a headache when I take a nap, you know. But that's wonderful to hear him say that, you know.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's like, what we do, we're, planning
They
our
see
day. Yeah, they see it, our family sees it, so they know we're busy in a sense. It doesn't mean we're less busy than they are because they work full-time jobs. So, but yes, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how can anybody can get a hold of you, whether it's social media, website, how can they reach you?
So we do have Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
You can go onto our page. There is a tab, a link for you to sign up if you're
Okay.
interested. Our numbers are also listed on there. But you can always come to the market. We're there every weekend, every
yes.
single weekend, guys. And you will find me there every weekend.
Yes.
I am there from sun up to sundown.
So probably the one I went to, you were there. I just didn't know it was you.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah.
I'm always there.
Oh, I don't know if it was your market. It probably was. I bought that from Bolsitas.
Yes. Yes.
See,
Bolsas lindas.
Yes,
Yes.
You see, I have her product
Yes.
there, so that's proof that I was at her market. And I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the bag. And my husband's like, I said, give me your card. He's like, why? I said, don't worry about it, just give me your card. So see, I have proof in the pudding, and that's again the connections of us going out there and support the different vendors, because I go out there for shopping reasons. I go out there to go support. I go out there saying, oh my gosh, I love that. Can I feature you on my Instagram? They're like, oh my gosh, yes. Simple.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, that doesn't cost a penny. You know what I mean? If you see something you like, and I'm more of the eyes and ears for these businesses to really kind of get them out there and showcase. And I looking forward to collaboration, connection, till we can get, your vendors also featured on our magazines and radio stations and stuff like that. So we have a platform for them.
Yes.
We have a platform for you. So we look forward to doing more great things. And is there any last words of encouragement that you would like to share to our viewers and listeners?
Continue to support all small businesses, guys, please. And share and like their pages, please. We would really, really appreciate that. There's so many small businesses out there, young entrepreneurs, as I said, all the way up to adults. You find older people as well. This is their passion. They didn't find love.
There's lots of love.
Thank you. They didn't actually bring out their passion until the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's very important to support them. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. So if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate that. Visit every market that you can. If a friend posts like, hey, Rita's selling what have you, share that. Share it. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't cost anything. So just share, continue to support. I promise you, if you go to Alamo Ranch, we have something for everyone.
Yes.
We have food, we have music, we have so many vendors, great vendors. You can definitely find something for anyone. Holidays are coming up.
Yes. Oh,
so
yeah, I can't wait to decorate our Christmas tree and all this stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
We have a lot of events coming up in October. So be sure to follow us. You can find a list of events that we have on our page. We do themed markets. Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's going to be beautiful, and I look forward to seeing all that. I look forward to being a part of that, and I look forward to featuring your vendors as well. So now, one more time, let's give them your website.
Alamo Ranch Pop-Up Market, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all. We really do.
And thank you all once again for being a part of Live on Air with Rita on Inspiration for Life Radio TV Web Network. And truly blessed to have y'all join us when you can. Like I said, you're going to see different shows throughout the day, mainly Sundays and Mondays, different times, because we don't want to bring all the different guests all in one room at one time. I like to kind of keep them spread out, mainly because right now we're trying to be safe and kind of keeping the distance and stuff like that. But just continue to follow us. We'll post the different guests that we're going to be bringing on the shows. I'll try to put that on ahead of time. That's why I like to put a day before. I try to get everybody, send me your pictures, send me your logo, send me. That's the reason why I do that, because I want to be able to share that. So if you can, please share this video, share the podcast. I'm gonna put this on IGTV, and then also download the live radio broadcast and put it on our podcast for Inspiration for Life. So just share all the love that we're doing, and thank you all so much. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. We appreciate you guys. Don't give up living your dream. Live your dream. Do what you've got to do.
Yes, do what you love.
God has a blessing, like she said.
Yes, I got to bring that painting down. Do what you love. Do what you love. So for more information, you can go to www.inspiration4 with the number 4 life.org and click on contact, and you can reach out to me and let me know whatever you have questions. And thank you so much. This is Rita Hernandez. Get inspired, be inspired, stay inspired. Bye.
Bye-bye.